There we go.
Now I see you. Welcome to the Rods. Damn, I'm about to say Rods Uncensored. I'm gotta get used to this. Midday Sports with Rod and the Lunch Crew. I got my man Chris Dietz here. I know he's normally on Monday, but I'm off today, so I said, man, let me ask Chris Dietz what is he up to? Talk a little bit college football and sports talk. How you doing today?
Doing great, man. Just waiting on week 2 to start.
Man, how did you feel about the game last night, man? I wasn't really expecting that deep of rust for the Rams like
Oh,
that. I know he's
I'm not. I mean, I don't really put a lot of stock. I don't really put a lot of stock in week 1. I don't put a lot of
hmm
stock in week 1 of the NFL. It's kind of
hmm
getting everybody's got to get back into, especially the Rams coming off a Super Bowl win. Like
hmm
they're and with the turnover that they had from the Super Bowl team, you
Yeah,
would
that's a
kind of
lot.
I kind of expected that. The bill. I mean, a lot of people are so surprised about the Bills. Like, if you're shocked that the Bills are good, I don't know what to tell you. They're the Vegas favorite to win the Super Bowl this year. Like, we knew they were good. So you knew that was going to happen. I didn't expect that kind of performance. But I mean, if you're Matthew Stafford and you throw 3 interceptions, that's how the Rams are going to look. The Rams are going to look that way when Matthew Stafford turns the ball over.
Do you feel like man? I think you definitely can tell the battle of his elbow that Tommy John is bothering him in his throws. Some of them throws look kind of, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
kind of terrible. You know what I mean? You definitely can tell his elbows definitely bothering him.
there's some of that in there. There's some
Mechanics.
of
That's what I meant.
there's some of getting. He's got to get you. He's going to have anytime you have a Tommy John type situation. He's going to have to do things different. He's going to have to do things differently. So, it's going to be getting used to it. I mean, you see it from pitchers all the time. Pitchers coming back from Tommy John in spring training, they're figuring out how they have to throw the ball. Matthew Stafford's going to
Mm.
have to do the same thing. And Cooper Cup. You lost Robert Woods. You lost Odell Beckham. You lost everybody else that you were throwing. So it's gonna take time, and for everything that the Rams have on the field offensively, I'm not worried about them offensively because Sean McVay will figure it out. You know, this is a guy. This is a guy who if you don't believe this guy knows how to do offense, I don't know what you've been watching. The guy's been to 2 Super Bowls and he's younger than I am.
Yeah,
So I
I
have
think
perfect. I feel like they're going to figure it out offensively. Defensively, that's where the Rams struggled, and I'm not going to lie to you. Josh Allen will make you do that. You struggle against Josh
mhm,
Allen, he'll find a way to hurt you.
mhm. I just think it's the running attack. I think they bailed out the run too soon. Like you gotta make somebody honest. I don't care if it's some kind of way you gotta get that running game gonna be activated to help the throw out. You can't just throw it 40 times without having a little bit of running game. I think they got too throw happy.
I mean, this is football one. This is football 101. That and it seems to be the popularity of the NFL. Everybody wants to see them. Everybody wants to see people throw the ball 900 times. That's not how you win in football. You win in football by running the ball and not running it on first down, like 1st and 10. All right, it's a running play. No, being able to run the ball when you're down by 14 and you still need to pick up 8 yards. You still need to run the football. Like, running the football is important. And this is a lot of teams do. A lot of teams do this. A lot of young coordinators, young coaches, they do this. They go, "Oh, we're down, so we have to throw the ball." No, you're down, so you have to make that up by scoring, and you score by being a balanced offense. Because if you're dropping back to pass every time, that's how Von Miller sat there and said, "Oh, they're throwing every down. I'm going to a spot. I'm just going to go to the spot and you play right into the defense's hand. You have to keep them honest by running the football, and that's how you know a good team from. That's how you know, as I say, a contender from a pretender. Pretenders throw the ball. Contenders run the ball when you're expecting to throw. They can still run the football. So that's just NFL nowadays.
Do you feel like man? I like Von Miller make that defense twice or 3 times better. Oh my God, I'm scared. I'm scared for my past this year. Going against Von Miller 2 times.
Everybody that plays the Bills should be. I mean, they already had a good defense. They already had a good pass rush. Now they got Von Miller, and you saw it last night. What Von Miller does for a defense is he takes away a blitzer. You have Von Miller, so you don't have to blitz anymore. And you saw that they were getting pressure with four-man rushes. That's the Von Miller effect. And now you can drop an extra guy into coverage, and you see what it does. So that's the Bills. But how do you negate? And people say, how do you negate that? You negate that by running the football, running it at him, making him question what he's doing. If Von Miller's able to just go right off the snap and go, when the ball's snapped, if he knows, all right, if he knows where his spot's going to be, he's going to beat your line every time. However, if you run a couple draw plays, he starts to go, wait a minute, maybe I should dip inside. Now it slows him down a little bit and you get some extra time. So again, coaching is important. It's important to notice these things within the game. So that's but that's how it goes. And it's like I said this morning on Snowman's show this morning when everybody was talking about this. Nobody won the Super Bowl last night. Like nobody lost the Super Bowl last night. It's game 1 of week 1. So that's why you're going to see a lot of overplay of this, overanalyzation, because it's the first game and it's the only one we have.
Hey, Dees, let's get in some fantasy.
Nobody's going to care about this.
Let's get in some fantasy, man. I have a question for you, man. I got my fantasy roster. I'm in the league with at my job, so I have some questions for you, man.
Yep.
Let me go to my team. I got Kyler Murray as my starter right now.
I like it.
I got Joe Nix. I also got
You mean Joe Mixon?
Yeah, Joe Mixon. My fault. Joe Mixon. Also got Jonathan Taylor. I got Mike Williams, CeeDee Lamb, Kyle Pitts. I got Saquon Barkley, and my kicker is Crosby from the Packers. And I got the Colts defense.
Oof. Okay. Who you got on the bench?
My bench is Tua. I got Dobbins, but he's questionable. I got Jacobs from the Raiders. I got Chris Godwin, he's hurt. I got Deontay Johnson, and also got D. London. I forgot the guy's name. The rookie.
I love Drake London. I know he's questionable week 1, and it takes receivers a while to get used to the NFL. Drake London's the real deal, man.
So that's my bench. I'm trying to get rid of Tua.
You and the Dolphins. You and the Dolphins. They've been trying to get rid of Tua since they drafted him.
Do you think I should start Kyler Murray?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Kyler Murray's going to put – look, I know a lot of people are going to say – I know a lot of people are down on Kyler Murray, but I don't understand – I don't understand the hatred of Kyler Murray. I know he got paid, and I know people don't like it when quarterbacks get paid, but he took a one-win Arizona team, and they made the playoffs last year. Last year, going into the last week, they were the number 1 seed in the NFC. And if DeAndre Hopkins doesn't get injured in the second to last game, they probably would have had home field, and they would have had home field throughout, and things would have been a lot different. So for people that say, "Oh, Kyler Murray hasn't done anything. He only played in one playoff game." Arizona. How many playoff games has Arizona played in? I mean, minus the run with Kurt Warner. When's another Arizona playoff game that you remember? There isn't one.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, where do you go back to? You probably go back to Jake Plummer. You probably have to go all the way back to Jake Plummer to get to an Arizona playoff game. And so, but that offense runs through Kyler Murray. If you're a fantasy owner, Kyler Murray's going to do everything for that team. He's going to run. He's going to pass. And he's not one of these Jalen Hurts kind of guys. And he's not looking to run first. But when he does run, he'll destroy you. But he'll also beat you from the pocket. And that's why Kyler Murray's a great fantasy player. The one thing on your team, what did you say? You have Mixon, Taylor, and Barkley.
Yeah.
I would, and this is just my opinion of your roster. I would put Jacobs in for Barkley for week 1. One because of the opponent. The Giants against the Titans. I think the Titans are going, and this is just my theory. I think the Titans are going to step up, and they're going to look at that and go, all right, Giants, beat us. Like beat us throwing the ball, because we're not going to let Saquon Barkley run wild on us. And who do the Giants have to throw the football to? I mean, the Giants have to find somebody that they can throw the football to, and so that's where I would go. And then Jacobs, we know what Jacobs is, and I know Jacob. Look, if Jacobs just holds on to the ball, he's fine.
That's my biggest concern, though.
That's a concern, but at least you'll know Jacobs is going to finish the game.
Yeah, it's like
you tell me Saquon Barkley's going to finish the game. Can you say that with 100%? Because I can't.
No, I can't.
I can't tell you Barkley's going to finish that game.
It's this. Do I take an injury-prone person or a fumble person? A person with fumble rooskies. That is a deep thought right there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's a battle of swords, like cancer or
again. I'd rather have in fantasy. I'd rather have a guy that fumbles. I'd rather have a guy that fumbles, but is going to finish the game. Is going to play the entire game, than a guy who might have 3 carries for 50 yards and be done. I'll take the 16. I'll take 16 for 69 and a touchdown, and I'll settle for if he fumbles. But at least I know I'm in it the whole game. If you could, again, if you could tell me Saquon Barkley's definitely going to play the entire game, yeah, sure, sure, I'll take Saquon Barkley. But I can't bet. I can't make that. I can't make that bet right now. I can't make that bet right now. I have to see Saquon Barkley play multiple games before I buy into him anymore.
I'm thinking about trading Jonathan Taylor if I can get Tom Brady. If I can get Tom Brady, I'm gonna take him.
Depends on your league. In both leagues I'm in, it's running back heavy, so trading a running back for a quarterback doesn't really help you.
Yeah. I just feel like Tom will put up big numbers.
I don't think Tom's going to put up big numbers this year. I don't think they're going to rely on Tom Brady this year. It's not going to be the Tom Brady show this year in Tampa Bay. That's just not. That's not going to be the way that they win football games. It's not going to be a winning strategy for them this year to make Tom Brady. It's going to be a balanced offense. It's going to be a lot of Leonard Fournette, and it's going to be Tom Brady here and there. And without Chris Godwin I believe he's out for the first 6 games.
You need that.
You need to have when Godwin comes back. That's when Brady's numbers are going to take off. But until then, I really don't think the Bucs are not going to put this all on Tom Brady.
Flashback. I really feel like that game is going to be a high scoring game with your Cowboys.
I think so too. I think so too. I think it's going to mirror exactly what happened last year. And last year, Cowboys fans were riding high, and everybody was screaming at the bar. At the bar that I was in, everybody was screaming at the bar, "Oh, we took the lead." I go, "Guys, there's a minute and a half left. Calm down." I go, "This game's over." I go, "With a minute and a half left, Bucs are getting the ball back. This game's over."
I can see
we're going to lose on a field goal, so don't worry about it. And what happened? Tom Brady goes down, scores a game-winning field goal. I think it's going to be the same way. I think Bucs win by a field goal. Win by a field goal late.
I think both teams are going to score 30 apiece. I really feel like that. Both teams will be able to score 30.
I think so. I think it'll be somewhere around 31-28, 30-27, somewhere around. That would be my. If you were asking me to pick a score, I would go 30-27.
All right, Dietz, just give the people what they want. You know what I mean? You know that blue blood bets, that college football bets. So, man, what games did you circle? You told me about this week when I talked to you through Messenger.
The games I'm looking at, and I haven't even picked these games yet because I'm so torn between them. But the first one is a noon kickoff on Saturday. South Carolina at Arkansas. You know, as much as I want to talk about Arkansas winning the game last week, I really think Cincinnati lost the game last week. And
I feel that way too.
You know, that scares me about Arkansas, and it scares me against South Carolina because South Carolina is a team that's got a lot to prove. Everybody on South Carolina's got something to prove, especially that quarterback. And Spencer Rattler, people forget how good Spencer Rattler was. So South Carolina getting 8.5. I'm tempted to take South Carolina 8.5 because I'm getting 8.5 points. So I got a little bit of a cushion. So I'm tempted on that one. I'm interested to hear what you think.
I think I probably would either go. It's a toss up for me. I think I either would take the money line, but I wouldn't touch the points. I'm scared of the points for both teams.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just scared to really. Arkansas, I got to see multiple games them putting that kind of effort in before I can, bet on them like that with the points. if that makes sense. Because
I got to see a lot more. I got to see a lot more from KJ Jefferson.
I love Jefferson, but
I gotta
see more games.
I gotta see Jefferson play a game where he doesn't get hit 9 million times and doesn't get hurt.
Oh my God!
I mean, how many times did he limp off the field? I mean, how many times did they go, he's limping, he might not come back, and then he's back the next drive, but he was a totally different quarterback. He can't take hits like he does. And he's got to stay healthy the whole game. That's what scares me about Arkansas is because if Jefferson goes down, they're done.
Oh, it's over with.
So that's in that kind of situation. When I look at that kind of situation in a betting situation, that's kind of why I'm leaning towards South Carolina. I'll take Arkansas to win, but I'll take South Carolina to cover.
Yeah,
to cover 8.5.
That's just too much for me. What else you had, Dietz?
I don't understand. Somebody's going to have to explain to me how ESPN decided to put Stanford USC as the game of the week when you have Kentucky heading to the swamp. I don't understand. I have no idea why USC Stanford is the game of the week, because the game I'm looking forward to most this weekend is Kentucky and Florida. And I told you all about this last week. I told you the swamp would be a different story. Would be the settling for Utah, but I mean we talked about this in the pre. Florida goes from unranked to 12th. These are why preseason rankings mean nothing, because that's the most ridiculous jump I've seen for a team. So that worries me about Florida. I still like Richardson though, and the thing about Kentucky is this is the show me game for Kentucky, because in the past, we know Kentucky always views Florida as their benchmark game. That's the game that they gear up for. But this time Kentucky's supposed to be good. That's when Kentucky was you didn't even think about Kentucky football. Now Kentucky's supposed to be good. Will Levis is supposed to be, one of the top level quarterbacks for the draft. I still don't have him there. I don't know how he made that jump. I don't know what some of these people are thinking, but this is the game Kentucky's going to have to show me. They're going to have to show me. Again, it's at Florida, so you got to deal with the swamp. But again, this is an SEC team. Kentucky's pretty used to it. So I don't think it plays that much of a deal. Kentucky's they're pretty. But Florida's. I got to go Florida on this one. Florida at home. Until I see something out of Kentucky, I got to go with Florida.
I'm definitely going with Florida, man. I think Florida needs this game to show that they are for real. You know what I mean? We've been down and out. I've been down on Florida for a couple years now, but they definitely need these kind of string these wins in the SEC. You know what I mean? To show we're going to a good place. Our program is going to a good place.
Both teams need this. Both teams need this.
Definitely need it.
Whoever wins this game, it's between them and it's them and Georgia for the SEC East. That's what's going on in this game. Is whoever wins this game has a shot at the SEC East, and whoever doesn't, you welcome to bowl season. That's all you're playing for the rest of the season, is to be a spoiler. And but that's why I'm going with Florida until if Kentucky can surprise me here, then I'll start to rethink them. But I'm sticking with Florida, especially the line I have is 5.5.
Oh.
I'm not. You're not even going to give me a touchdown. I'm going with the Gators, and that defense A lot of people want to talk about Anthony Richardson. No, that Florida defense played well last week, and that defense doesn't fluctuate. So, I'm sticking with that. I'm sticking with that one there.
But I like it. I really like Anthony Richardson.
Absolutely. How could you not love? I mean, this guy. You saw that one play where he took off for the touchdown. You put a maroon jersey and you put a VT on that, and you're looking at Michael Vick right there. Like, that was exactly what Michael Vick would do. Oh, nobody's open. I'll just take off from the 50-yard line and just burn everybody.
And how do you know what I mean? It's hard to put a spy and play man to man. Plus, it's hard to do all that. You can't. That man just a freak athlete. He's a freak.
They did spy him on that play, and he ran right by the spot. The spy didn't even think. He went into the spy was like, all right, he's not going to get into gear until he's in the midfield. No, he went right into fifth gear, and boom, he was gone. And once he got by the linebacker, it was everybody else was turned. By the time everybody turned around, he was 30 yards down the field.
Man, he's a freak. He's definitely a freak. Oh man, what else games you have, man?
The other game of the week, and this probably would be the game of the week if it were not being played in Provo, because nobody really cares about BYU. Nobody cares about BYU except for people that have been watching BYU for the last couple of years. But Baylor at BYU, it's probably the close. This game, I wouldn't touch this game with a 10-foot pole. 3.5 point spread on this game.
Whew. I don't think I would. I definitely kept my hands off that one.
Yeah, I would not touch this game. I'm because it's on the list of picks that I have to make. I'm going with Baylor. I'm trusting the Big 12 here, but what scares me is the game is being played. BYU plays different in Provo, man. It's just that atmosphere is so different, and it's going to be a 10-15. It's going to be BYU is used to playing these games after dark. Baylor not so much. So I'm gonna go with Baylor based on the fact that they're a Big 12 team and BYU is pendant right now. They're going to be Big 12 next. I think in 24, whenever that kicks in, but yeah, I'm going with Baylor in that one, but it's gonna be a dogfight. That's why I wouldn't bet it, because you're gonna be biting your nails that entire game, and it's gonna be a fun game. It's gonna be a great game to watch.
Another one on your list, man. I definitely didn't touch, but Tennessee and Pittsburgh, man.
Tennessee, Pittsburgh. That one's interesting. And I went Pittsburgh in that one. One, because they're at home, and getting points. So I like that. Pittsburgh survived by the skin of their teeth last week. But again, I know it's SEC going into the ACC. I know it's an SEC team in Tennessee, but I don't trust Tennessee yet. And I don't trust that Josh Heupel offense, so I'm going Pittsburgh at home and getting 6.5 points. So that's why I'm taking Pittsburgh, because I get the point. But I think that game will be close, and I think Pittsburgh will win it. I've loved Keaton Slovis ever since he was at USC. Now's a chance. Now's another chance to show up. So
I'm gonna tell you what I pick. I'm gonna tell you what I pick. Dietz.
What games you betting on?
Whew. I took Ohio State versus Arkansas State. I took the over for that game. That 45.5.
Yeah, absolutely. Ohio State will have 45 in that one.
I took Alabama versus at Texas. I took the over. I took that over 67 points.
67. You think Bama's going to put a 50 burger on Tennessee on Texas?
I believe so.
Okay, so
I got faith. I got faith.
That's what you got to be hoping. That's what you got to be hoping for. I think Texas. The top Texas. I think they get 17. I think Texas will get you 17 points. So you got to hope Alabama can get you the rest.
And another one, I got Penn State versus Ohio University. I took that 25 points and a half.
Wait, is Penn State's favored by 20, 25?
We get 25. I took that.
Yeah, I'd take Ohio.
And Texas A&M versus Appalachian State, they got to win by 20 points. 20 points. I took that.
I took A&M. I took A&M at home.
Yeah. And then
A&M,
Michigan,
College Station. Jimbo's going to want to put and Appalachian State coming off that epic game they had with North Carolina. And that's a game you got to take the over.
I just feel like Jimbo's not going to play with Appalachian State like Mac Brown. I don't think he's going to play with them. He's going to tell them boys in the beginning of the game, before the game, hey, take these teams serious because some of y'all will lose your job if y'all don't do y'all assignments. I feel like Jimbo is going to be that serious and be crystal clear with the players because nobody want to take that. Oh, I let Appalachian State put 300 yards on me and 4 touchdowns. Nobody want to have that on them.
Yeah, no, Jimbo and this is not the year to mess with Jimbo Fisher right now. Jimbo Fisher is not in the mood this season.
And I took Michigan State, the over for Michigan State at Akron at Michigan State. I took that 56 points for Michigan State.
That's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a tough one to hit the over.
You think they're gonna coast?
I think that I don't think Akron's gonna score. I don't think to hit the over. You need to get at least. You're gonna need at least 10. You're gonna need at least 10 out of Akron.
Mm-hmm.
And at Michigan State's known to play defense, so. And the way Mel Tucker plays, I don't ever expect them to run up the score.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing about Michigan State. I mean, look at last week. Last week, spread's 21.5. And then what do? They win by 21. Jerks.
Yeah. And I took the over for Iowa State at Iowa, that 40.
You took the over?
No, not the over. I took the points.
Oh, you took the points. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say coming off with Iowa coming off their epic 7-3 victory over South Dakota State. No, the Cyhawk Trophy. Look, you want it. I'll tell your fan base right now because I haven't said it on this network. I say it every time. You want to watch college football. You want to know what college football is all about. Tune in to Iowa State. Now the game starts at 4. Tune in at about 4:10, and watch what happens in Iowa. The best tradition in all of sports. I don't care what you ask, what you ask. The best tradition in all of sports at the end of the first quarter in Iowa, every single person in the ballpark, from opposing team, officials, Iowa team to the stands, the entire stadium turns around and waves to the Children's Hospital. It's the most amazing thing you'll ever see in sport. It's why we watch sports. So with that game, you want to tune in at about 4:10. And watch that. It's the best thing ever. But yeah, I'm taking Iowa in that game at home. Iowa at home. It's only 3. It's 3.5. Iowa State is still trying to figure out who Iowa State is this year. So I expect a bounce back game from Iowa, and we'll see the real Hawkeyes team show up. So I expect Iowa to win that game.
What do you feel about the NFL? Any picks you feel about the NFL this week or no?
The NFL week one's always a tough sell. You know, knowing who's going where. Let me just bring up my NFL so that I have the lines and that I have everything. There are a lot of games that I'm feeling a certain way about the game. One of them is Pittsburgh Cincinnati.
How do you feel about that?
I like the Steelers. I like the Steelers in that one. One, Joe Burrow hasn't played all preseason. I don't even know if he's going to play in week one. But if he does, you know, rust coming up. We saw last night. You know, we saw the Super Bowl winners. We saw them struggle last night. You know, that's what happens to teams that play in the Super Bowl. Now, usually it's the team that loses that has the hangover. That's the Bengals, and that Steelers defense is nobody you want to slouch against. Now, the question is, can Pittsburgh score enough? You know, can Mitchell Trubisky be the real deal? I think in week one, I think I'm taking that Steelers defense. So I'm taking the Steelers, and I'm getting 6.5. So I like that bet.
What I put let me see what I put on there today. I think I did bet on that game. I think I took the 45. I think I did take the 45 points, man, for the over.
45. Well, since you have Joe Mixon, you better hope that they get to 45.
You don't think, hey, DT, you think nobody could score this
The
week?
Steelers, man, I'm betting on that. If that game is over 45, then the Bengals will win. I'm betting on the Steelers defense to hold the Bengals. To hold the Bengals under. I'm expecting them to corral that defense, to corral that offense, keep that offense slow. And again, Joe Burrow hasn't played, so he's going to have to, you know, ramp it back up. And the Steelers, this is their first game without Big Ben in how many years? So,
yeah.
So I don't expect much offense in that game, which is why I picked the Steelers to begin with. So that's why I'm questioning the over, because you're gonna need points out of the Bengals, and you're gonna need points out of Steelers. I mean, the Steelers aren't gonna run up any scores. And Mitch, if you think Mitchell Trubisky is going to light up the scoreboard, I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's happening. And if the Steelers are up, they're going to try to run the ball and get the hell out of Dodge. Like, they're not going to take that many chances. So I think the over on that one will be tough. What do you feel? What do you feel? What are you feeling about your Patriots, man?
Man,
they're dogs going into Miami,
and I really feel like this about this situation, man. I feel like Belichick wants to, you know, beat the streak. I know last year we lost to them twice. I think this year we get it done. I think we split it this year. I feel like we're gonna get the first game. I think we got to make it real sloppy for them. I think if we can't get no pass rush, it's gonna be over with this year. It definitely is going to definitely be over with this year. Snowman thinks the Patriots will tie at Miami.
In a tie. Hey, that's a win. That's a win. That's a win because I'm taking the Patriots. I'm taking the Patriots. I'm taking the Patriots, and it's a 2.5. So I'm getting a field goal. I'm taking the Patriots.
You know, I took them too. You know, not to be a homer, but I feel like they asking for so much in Mike McDaniel's first year, and that's asking for a lot, man.
And Bill, I mean, and like you said, they lost twice last year to Miami. Mm-hmm. Bill doesn't forget that.
Yeah,
like Bill knows that. Bill is probably saying that to his guys every day this week. These guys beat you twice. He's hammering that home nonstop. So I expect the Patriots to come out and play a good game. So I'm taking the Patriots on the road.
And I think what you call it, you know what I mean? Bill's taking this real serious. I heard he's been in Miami. He went 5 days before Miami to get the players used to the weather. He's taking this game real serious. I think Jonathan Jones is going to have a tough day, you know what I mean, in that slot, trying to guard that cheetah. But, you know what I mean, if it's all stars in that trenches, if we can get in that pocket, cause Tua to get excited, I'm cool with that. That's the only way we can win if we can get in that backfield. Start hitting Tua a little bit. Make him uncomfortable.
Absolutely. You're gonna have to get pressure. I mean, Tyreek Hill is the one guy that Bill Belichick hasn't been able to solve. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you watch him play, it's usually we know the Bill Belichick method of take away your best player. Whenever they played Kansas City, they tried to take away Tyreek Hill, and he just ran right by everybody. So, so Tyreek Hill has kind of been the one guy that the Patriots have never been able to solve, but he doesn't have Pat Mahomes throwing him the ball this time. So, you know, we'll have to see how that mix goes together. But again, I like the Patriots in that one.
Man, I also too, man. A lot of people at my job talking about it, talking drunk to me and stuff. Oh, I feel like they're gonna get blown out. I said, man. I said, okay.
It's not gonna
You think they're gonna score 50 and we're just gonna sit there? Oh, y'all offense didn't look good in the preseason. I said, none of the starters on that line was starting. I seen that we picked up Marcus Cannon to get some depth on that line, to get us some help. But, man, I really feel like it's not going to be a blowout like that. My heart to hearts, I don't feel like it's going to be a blowout.
No, I don't.
I'll be amazingly surprised.
I definitely don't think it. I definitely don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it'll be a fun game. I think it'll be a fun game for football people to watch. For the casual fan, that game's going to be a mess. The Patriots are going to play that game. To make it a mess, and that's how they're gonna win the game. Sloppy and hope that you can force a couple turnovers.
I'm just hoping to get Damian Harris. Feed him the rock.
Mm-hmm.
Feed him the rock. You know what I mean? I want him to get at least 20 touches. Let Stevenson get some touches. Ramondre Stevenson getting him some touches. And see where it goes from there. I really want to see what Devontae Parker looked like. I want to see what that addition looked like in the regular season. If Nelson Aguilar can't get me 600 yards this year as a deep threat and a couple of TDs, we gotta release him. Don't resign him at all.
Devontae Parker's going into this game and going
emotional.
He's gonna be like Mac Jones. Feed me the ball, and I'm going to. And every time he does something, if he catches a touchdown, those fans better watch out.
And I want you to.
He's gonna do something wild.
And also, I know old reliable. You know what I mean? He's like a can of tuna in the pantry. He's gonna be reliable.
Mm-hmm.
What you call Jacoby Myers? He definitely gonna be reliable. Jacoby was a bright spot last year for us, so I don't want them to forget about him.
Mac Jones is good at spreading the ball around. He's learned that. He's learned that from his days with Coach Nick. So, yeah, I think he'll spread the ball around, and they don't have a go-to. Like, Devontae Parker's not going to be a guy you throw the ball to, 15 times. He's going to be a guy who, if he's open, you throw it to him, but he's not going to be your. I have to force the ball into him. Like, the Patriots don't have that. They don't run that kind of offense. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of offense the Patriots run, with the post Josh McDaniels era.
All right, D, so we about to take a quick commercial break.
Oh, look at that. Nice. That's a good spot you got there. You're on mute, buddy.
He had it.
There you go.
Well, yeah, what was he talking about? Devontae.
Well, I think we finished up on the Patriots. Okay. I want to move to. I can't wait. I'm so glad I get to go to the sports bar that I go to. They have the NFL package, and they usually have every game on. But I'm going to be sitting right in front, and I know some people don't like this, but me, I love this kind of game. I'm going to be watching Browns Panthers. And the one reason I'm going to be watching that game is because I'm a wrestling fan. Mm-hmm. I love heel turns, man. I love a good when a heel gets to go at Baker Mayfield. I'm hoping Baker Mayfield just lights up the Cleveland Browns. Just for the spectacle of it. What do you think, man?
I really feel like Cleveland can get this done, man. I really feel like I got Cleveland personally. I know we got Jacoby Brissett starting. But I think that running game gonna get him that win on that game. I hope so. I think the running game will give him that win this game. And also, you got one that you also got a great tight end.
I got Nick Chubb. So.
Well, you got Nick Chubb.
I got Nick Chubb in fantasy, so I'm hoping that running game can do it. But again, from a visual standpoint, I just want to see Baker Mayfield. I want to see what happens if Baker Mayfield starts having a big day. I want to see what he does because I've been, if you followed this kid since college, he can go quick to heel, like planting the flag in the middle of Ohio State to Kansas guy. The Kansas guys not shaking his hand at the thing, and he goes, "Okay, you want to do that to me? Okay," and then puts up 45 on him and is running down the field with his hand in the air as they score touchdowns. Like, this is a guy you don't want to get on his bad side because if he starts getting you, he's going to let you know about it. So that's the must see part of this game is if Baker Mayfield has a big day, what antics does he pull off?
I think it's definitely gonna be an emotional game for him. Like it's definitely gonna be an emotional game. I just have, if he can get going with DJ Moore, I love DJ Moore. Robbie is Christian's not going to be healthy, is he? Christian's out.
Christian McCaffrey is already on the injured reserve. He's already on the injury list. They said he's questionable with a shin injury. I mean, already. Come on.
Oh man.
So yeah, like I said, I'll have my eyes on that game just for the spectacle of it. That's my 1 o'clock. That's my 1 o'clock. I'll be watching that. I'll be right in front of that game.
What about the Bears? Like that Bear game is interesting to me because I want to see if Trey Lance have an off game. Or the 49ers fan, I know it's at Soldier Field, but are the 49ers fans going to call for Jimmy G? I want to see how does his mood get if they start calling for him? I'm interested to see that.
The fans will do that because they're fans, and the fans will do that. I mean, the fans were calling for Jimmy G's head last year, so. It'll just be funny if they have to start chanting for Jimmy G because they wanted to throw him out last year. So, but again, you have Kyle Shanahan, the guy who learned from one of the best in his father. He's not going to be swayed by that. They made the decision to go to Trey Lance. They're not going to Jimmy G, and they're not doing it in game one. Like that's what everybody needs to calm down because once you pull Trey Lance, you have to go Jimmy G the rest of the way. Yeah,
and you taking a chance of
pull him and then go. Oh, Trey Lance is starting next week though. No. Once you fire that that bullet's out of the chamber. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they'll need it. And Chicago's such a mess. If Justin Fields gets out alive, that's a win for Chicago.
That's what I was about to ask you. How do you feel his progression is going to be this year? I like the receiver Moody, but
I don't care. They can't block. They Justin
can't block.
Fields is going to be running for his life. He better have that 3-second count in his head. Get rid of the ball in 3 seconds or run, because. That offensive line is terrible. And with the 49ers with Nick Bosa, yeah, it's not going. This game's not going to go well.
Yeah, let's play devil's advocate though. If some way the Bears get this done, what does that tell you?
What it's going to tell you is well, I know already George Kittle hasn't practiced all week.
Already's not playing at all.
George Kittle's out. So what it'll tell you is that the 49ers we'll see what they are without Kittle. I mean, that offense runs people can say what they want about Deebo Samuel. That offense runs through George Kittle. Mm-hmm. And so we'll see what they are without him. And but the Bears, if the Bears pull off a victory, like you go, oh well, it's week one. Like it doesn't. Nobody's gonna win. You can't win the Super Bowl in week one, but you can lose it if somebody goes down.
Yeah.
And that's really what the 49ers have to worry about is. Win the game and get out without injury. Well, I don't think that'll be. I think that game will be over by the end of the first quarter.
in the first quarter. You know what I mean? It's another game. I took the Colts. I took the Colts versus the Texans. But if some way Danny Mills can get it popping and Lovie Smith can get it popping, and they get that win against their division rival, that'd be big time.
That would be a monster. That would be just a monstrous win. It'd be a great win for the Houston, but it would be an even bigger loss for Indianapolis. Indianapolis just made this huge move. They bring in Matt Ryan. I mean, Matt Ryan, you got to get over it, man. 28-3. You got to get over that.
Oh no! You got me excited now, Dietz. You got me excited.
I say it all the time. We've been saying it on my show forever. 28-3, like that. Matt Ryan. That's gonna live with Matt Ryan forever.
Like, how bad was that, man? And like, overall, how bad is that you really lost a game that you had in hand? You know what I mean?
I remember that. I remember that game because I was watching it with my father, and my father, 28-3. My father goes, "I'm going to bed." There you go. It just starts. My father starts getting ready for bed. I'm just sitting there watching the game. So now I'm just sitting there watching it by myself, and I looked at him and I went, "It ain't over yet." I go, "It ain't over yet. Tom Brady's still on the field." And he's like, "Oh, it's 28-3. I don't care." He comes back like a half hour later. He goes, "What the hell happened?" I go, "Tom Brady happened." That's what I was like. Tom Brady happened, and now it's a game.
Yeah, that was a big time game. Like, Julio had 100 and I think he had like 123 yards receiving.
You think about everybody in that game. Everybody in that game. From the Falcons point of view, everybody in the Falcons, that was their moment. Like, that was they played the best that they could play. They played the best that they could play in that year, and everybody since then from that team has fallen off the face of the earth. Julio Jones went completely in the tank. Matt Ryan has gone downhill since then. Like, everybody's gone down, and everybody from the Patriots has pretty much gone up. Like, that one game, that one quarter, swung. It ate up like 3 careers, and it made 3 or more just kept going. It's nuts.
James White can get a free beer in Maine, anywhere up north. Maine
any bar he walks into in Boston. Any bar he walks into in Boston, it's paid for. Like, nope. You don't pay. You got beer and wings. Here you go.
Because I still just watching it. I don't know how he crossed that plane with the pylon with that. I think it was a linebacker that grabbed him. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, he got the swing, and he got the swing pass. Guy was on his leg, and he just dove out. That was nuts.
That was magical.
Julian Edelman is the same way. How he made that catch in the middle of the field. I still don't know how he made that catch.
I just you know what I see, man, though? This is crazy to me, though. Julian Edelman and Cooper Kupp, right? Cooper Kupp is a wizard, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he gives me like a super Julian Edelman. If Julian Edelman could be 6 foot tall, 200 pounds, that's what he could have been if he was bigger in size. You know what I mean?
If he played in a different, if he played with a different quarterback, he would have been. He would have been a totally different player. But he didn't play with a Matthew Stafford who was looking who gave him. Julian Edelman wasn't the guy who got. How many catches did Cooper Kupp have last year? Like 150?
Yeah.
but he got like 200. He got like 200, like 250 targets. Like Tom Brady wasn't targeting at Julian Edelman. That Tom Brady knows. All right, I can throw to Julian Edelman every play and get a completion, but I'm going to spread the ball around. Like so. But that catch by Julian Edelman was what did it for me. I went, whoa. I went, all right, this game ain't over.
It definitely wasn't over, man. You look at that Super Bowl with Kyle Shanahan when he was with Jimmy G. I think they got too pass heavy.
They clearly got too pass heavy. Like all you had to do was run a draw play once, and you probably get out of that game. You probably get out of it. Nope. They threw the ball, and what happened? Chandler Jones knew they were throwing the ball. It's like we talked about earlier. When you know the other team's throwing the ball, you don't have to do much as a defensive end. You just have to make sure you get to your spot. He did. Strip sack, fumble, boom. Like, you run a draw play there, it probably runs another minute off the clock. And even if the Patriots do make their comeback, they needed every second to get that game to overtime.
A magical game.
So they would have got out of Dodge. They would have got out of Dodge and been able to go home. But nope. Fumble, Patriots recover, score a touchdown. The rest is history. And 28-3 will live in infamy forever.
Like I would never. I think I would tell my great grandkids, but I may get that far. 28-3, a 3-1 lead. That's just a magical thing to see, man. I think that's probably up there for the the biggest moments.
The funniest thing is my former co-host and one of my best friends from high school. He's a big Patriots fan, but he lives in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So he sent his kid to school the next day with a shirt that said 28-3 on it.
Damn. That's savage. That's some savage shit right there.
How cold is that? I was like, yup. I was like, yeah, this is happening.
That's cold blooded right there. That is cold blooded, man.
Yeah. Speaking of cold blooded, what do you think about the Monday night game, the Russell Wilson Bowl?
Man, that is a game where you got to have your eyes and see. Man, it's definitely.
I think it'll be interesting to see how the 12th man treats Russell Wilson.
You gotta give him praise, man, because he took a terrible franchise. Let me get you right. And you know what I mean? Snowman talk about Roger Craig should be in the Hall of Fame. Let's say Sean Alexander should be in the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. Sean Alexander didn't get he was the most underrated running back, I feel, in history. You know what I mean? I think he's one of the best Alabama running backs in history.
He got hit with that Madden curse.
You know what I mean? He was a freak.
He was a freak. He was on the cover of Madden, and then he blew out his knee.
You know what I mean? And Tim Hasselbeck versus Pittsburgh. We can go on and on about that. But he got them over the hump. Russell got them over the hump. Him and Marshawn and the Legion of Boom. And because there was a laughing stock in that division for a long time, man. So you can't be doing boo and you should clap for them. You know what I mean?
I think they'll clap. I mean, if Seattle is class, if Seattle's classy as they should, they'll cheer them. They'll cheer them in the pregame. The minute the ball kicks off, all bets are off, man. All bets are off, and that's how you should treat it. Is all right. You give them praise, like when they announce them, or when when he comes out for the captains, you show him some love. once the game starts, you treat him like you would any other quarterback. You don't think of him as, all right, this is our former quarterback. Nah, you treat him like he's anybody else. And that's the best way to do it. If they do it any other way, it'll just seem disingenuous. It'll seem disingenuous to cheer for him, and it'll feel and it's not right to absolutely slam him because he didn't ask for this.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't ask to be traded. They just traded him.
Like I don't understand why you don't some kind of way build a line for him so he don't, you know what I mean? So you can get more years out of him. I feel like Seattle didn't handle the situation properly.
Seattle tried to they tried to be like they tried to moneyball it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they tried to make NBA they tried to make college basketball players into offensive tackles.
You can't do that.
Like that's like you can't do that. Yeah, that's why Russell Wilson was running for his life, and now he's in Denver. I hope Denver puts up a big number on him.
And you mean Patrick Surtain is that guy. I love that free safety. What's his name? I keep on forgetting his name.
For Denver, Williams? Isn't it Javon Williams?
I think that is it. I think so. Or is it Williams or something else? I'm not too.
I don't know much about the Denver Broncos. I don't know much about Denver.
I know they had a couple of Pro Bowlers, but the safety.
All I know is they got my guy Cortland Sutton. I'm hoping Russ and Cortland have a big connection.
I like Cortland Sutton. I like Judy. I like that running back, the guy that used to be where he used to play for. I'm having a brain fart, Deeks. That running back,
Gordon? Yeah. Yeah, he did. He played for San Diego.
Like they have a little squad, man. My biggest concern is, are you going to be able to? Is he going to have enough time to throw the ball? I know that line last year was a little spotty. They also had Drew Luck. You know what I mean? You can say, but
they said I mean, everybody that's watched Denver, and I haven't seen much of their preseason, so I don't know much about it. Everybody said their line is very improved and should be better. Their line will be better this year just because they have Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson will make that offensive line better because he made offensive lines in Seattle look decent, and they were horrible.
So that's the name of the guy's name, Justin Simmons.
Justin Simmons, okay.
Yeah, he's solid. He's solid. Yeah, I definitely want to see what this team looks like. It shall be definitely interesting to see what Russell does, man. I wish him nothing but the best at what Denver.
But I still think no matter what happens in Denver in week 1, I still don't trust the Denver Broncos the whole season in that division.
That's that.
And that gets us right out of the gate. We get Raiders Chargers.
How do you feel about how that game's going to end, man?
I'm gonna be interested in seeing what the crowd's like. I'm going to be interested in seeing what the crowd's like because you know, LA is not Chargers country. LA is Raider country.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be interested to see how much black and silver is in the crowd for that game.
I think it's going to look like a Lumina inside of Lumina box. It's just going to be a bunch of silver. I really don't see a big crowd for the Chargers there. You know what I mean? Like you said, the Raiders own that whole area, fans base wise. But I really want to see what the game plan is going to be for Josh McDaniels. This is a big test right here. You know what I mean? It's a big test.
Big test for that rebuilt Chargers defense. Chargers brought in a lot of guys, so And I know everybody's up on the Chargers. I actually took the Raiders in that game.
Mhm.
I like what the Raiders have. The Raiders have enough offense. Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, Derek Carr. There's no excuse anymore.
Like, if Devontae Adams should definitely have at least a lot of touches. That's why you pay him the big money.
You got to throw him. You got to throw him the ball.
You got to throw him the ball.
You got to throw him the ball at least 15 times.
At least.
That doesn't mean he catches it. That just means you got to target him at least 15 times. And I think Devontae Adams is one of those guys. You just got to get him the ball early. For Josh McDaniels, I know you already got your game plan, but a couple wide receiver screens right out of the gate. You get Devontae Adams three catches on the first drive. He'll be good the rest of the game.
Yeah, Renfrew should be eating in that slot. Darren Waller should be eating. Also give Jacob some touches, man. Give him at least like 10 touches, 15 touches, because he got a fumble issue.
Jacobs, just hold on to the ball.
That's all.
Just don't fumble. That's all you need to do. Just go down. It's okay. It's okay to be tackled. Just get your 6 yards, go down, and you're good.
I feel like you should definitely, but that line's got to hold up with a Bosa brother, Khalil Mack. That's a tough glass to swallow. That's a tough glass.
Khalil Mack going against the Raiders.
Oh, history right there. History right there.
Exactly. That'll be fun. It's gonna be a fun game. I just don't trust the Chargers offense right now.
That's and they got one of the best. I feel like nobody gives him his praise. Keenan Allen. I would love to have Keenan Allen on my team.
I would too. But
you know what I mean?
Keenan Allen's a great guy to have,
but
you can't trust it. You can't trust him.
He's a great route runner.
You can't trust he'll be on the field though.
Yeah, no doubt. That's
the problem. That's the problem. But you'd love to have guys like Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
But you need to have him for 16 games, and you can count on Keenan Allen for 7 or 8, but you can't count on him anywhere past that. That's the problem with Keenan Allen.
But it's definitely gonna Derwin James.
Derwin James is the guy to watch in that game. Derwin James is one of the best athletes I've ever seen in my life.
He's gonna have to definitely watch over top for helping JC and Asante Jr.
It'll be him and he'll be on Waller. He'll be on Waller. He'll take Waller out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be if I'm the defensive coordinator of San Diego or LA or whatever the hell. I still call him San Diego because I don't care. But if I'm the Chargers defensive coordinator, I'm going to Derwin James. I'm saying you're on Waller and you follow him wherever the hell wherever he goes, that you're going to be there, and take him out of the game and let Devontae out. Like Devontae Adams is going to be Devontae Adams. So
man,
we'll figure the rest out. But we'll take Derwin James, put him on Darren Waller, and we'll see what our guy. If our guy's better, it'll be a one-on-one. If our guy wins, we win. If he doesn't, we lose. Like that's how you win or lose the game if you're the Chargers.
How do you feel about, before we get out of here, a couple more, maybe 2 more teams I want to talk about. How do you feel like the Packers and Kirk Cousins are going to do against Green Bay, man? How do you feel like that game's going to go? Green Bay versus Vikings. Green Bay's at the Vikings stadium.
You just said it. Kirk Cousins is playing for the Minnesota Vikings. I'm taking Green Bay.
How do you think they're going to look, like receiver core wise, man? Because they lost a lot. in the
The
offseason.
Vikings are gonna be the Vikings are gonna be the Vikings. They're gonna drop back. They're gonna. I feel like Green Bay. I feel like Green Bay is gonna be better this year. And
How do you feel? What
I
makes
don't
you think
mean that? Because they're gonna spread. They're gonna get back to the old school style of Green Bay of spread the ball around. You're not gonna see 15 targets to a receiver. You're going to see Aaron Rodgers finding the difference between Aaron Rodgers and everybody else is Aaron Rodgers doesn't make mistakes. Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw interceptions. Why? Because he spreads the ball. He doesn't force the ball into situations that he doesn't have to. So I think that offense will be better without a go-to wide receiver. It's one of those weird things. Like Green Bay's always been that way. When you go back and look at the history of Green Bay, when you go back to the days of Brett Favre, they never had a stud wide receiver, but they had guys who were really good. I mean, you go back to Robert Brooks, Antonio Freeman, guys who were.
You can say Sterling. You can say Sterling Sharp.
Sterling Sharp. Like you had guys who were great wide receivers, but they weren't go-to guys. They just got fed the ball all the time.
Sterling Sharp had some big numbers, Deeks.
Trust me, I know all about it. Sterling Sharp was great, and then he broke his leg, and that was a career-ending injury. I mean, you talk about how good Shannon Sharp was. Sterling Sharp was 10 times better.
That's what I'm saying. If he didn't get hurt, he was going to get a golden jacket, man.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm saying that. I'll put my dollar down.
Absolutely. But you look at everybody that came along since then. I mean, you can tell me Robert Brooks was a great wide receiver. No, but he still caught 100 passes and was still a leading receiver. Antonio Freeman wasn't a great wide receiver, but he had 100 catches. Like, these are guys. These are the kinds of guys that do well there. The other dude, Greg Jennings. Greg Jennings. These are the kinds of guys that do well in Green Bay. Like Green Bay is a working class kind of. They kind of play the way their city is set up. You know, the way Green Bay is set up. It's a different place. So I do think that I think the offense it'll be different. But I think they'll be even more productive because they'll be spreading the ball around.
I feel like you gotta get Aaron Jones the ball. I feel like you should use him on screens, running back screens.
Aaron Jones is another guy. You kind of have to put him on a pitch count because he won't last.
That's why you got Dylan in the back.
That's what I'm saying. You got to put Jones. You got to put Jones on a little bit of a pitch count to be like, all right, we're gonna hand you the ball 15 times and we'll throw it to you a couple. But after that, we can't risk it because we need you. We need you at the end of the season. We don't need you now.
It's another situation. Another game I want to ask you about, man. Do you think Jacksonville upsets the Commanders?
Let me see who I took in that game. I know I was just passing it, so let me just take a look real quick. I took Washington. I took Washington in that game. At home. I do like that Jacksonville squad, though. I like everything that Jacksonville's doing down there. I just think first game, what I really did in this game is I really didn't know who to pick, and since I'm a Cowboys fan, my go-to is all right. Well, let me take the team I don't want to win. That way, I hedge my bets, and if Jacksonville wins, I'm happy that Washington lost. And if Washington wins, I'm happy that they won. I'm happy that they won, and I was right. but other than that, I mean, how funny is it's funny the way life works. Carson Wentz starting for the Washington Commanders against Jacksonville, where last year all Carson Wentz has to do is beat the Jacksonville Jaguars and they go to the playoffs. And what happens? Jacksonville curb stomped them.
Mm-hmm.
And now Carson Wentz is the starter in Washington, and who's their first game? Jacksonville Jaguars. But no, I like everything that I just hope Jacksonville looks. I hope they look decent. I want to see what Travis Etienne can do. We didn't get to see him last year. He looked good in the preseason. I want to see what Travis Etienne can bring to this team.
Yeah, I'm interested to see that, man. I'm interested to see what kind of leaps what's the guy's name? Trevor Lawrence to do this year in the second year, with a good quarterback whisperer, Doug Peterson. I really want to see what he does with him. I think this is the coach he needs, man. I think this fits better with him than Urban Meyer.
It's a much better
fit.
It's a much better fit. That everything they got going on down there in Jacksonville, they're gonna be headed in. That's what people need to understand is that this is gonna be a process for them, but they're headed in the right direction. Like Tom Coughlin knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
You just I know this phrase has gotten co-opted, but it really works for them. Trust the process down there. Like it's gonna be, you got to weed everybody out and you got to get everybody to buy in. And if there's anybody you want to buy in, it's Tom Coughlin. So I'll be keeping an eye on that game. But I took Washington just so I can. If they win, I can be happy. If they lose, I'll be even happier. So,
all right, Dietz, what you got coming up this week, man?
So we're gonna go on. Since we missed the show last night, we're gonna be going tomorrow at 8 a.m. I'm gonna do the show early, 8 a.m. Get it in before kickoff. And. Obviously we'll be breaking down week 1 and we'll be making our picks for week 2. We got a bunch of picks. We'll be making NFL picks. But most of all, we'll be telling you the best and worst, best thing we saw and worst thing we saw all weekend. And there was a lot of worse last Saturday from LSU, from the entire LSU team to the debacle that went on in Cincinnati to and we'll be talking about other things. The big news of the week that nobody seems to be talking about in college football because they tried to sneak it by us, but 12-team playoff is coming, which is absolutely I can't explain this enough. 8 or 16. Those are the numbers that work. How do you get 12?
They want more money. They need more money. They want to squeeze the lemon.
But you either have 8 or 16. You don't have 12. Doesn't work. You can have 2 bye weeks. You can have people are getting bye weeks. Like what? No, it doesn't work. 12 team doesn't work. If you want more, you go to 16. You either have 16 or 8. That's the expansion. And of course the NCAA picks 12 because they don't even though they run colleges, they don't seem to know math. But so that's what we're going to be talking about on the show tomorrow. And we'll get you set up for a great day of college football. And then next week we're going to try Thursday. We're going to try Thursday again, but work schedules, work comes first, man.
That's always been the case, man. It's always the case.
Work comes first, and then whenever I can fit my show, or whenever I can fit somebody else's show in, I'll do it. But
that's why that's why I squeeze in Mondays, man. That's my only off day. Monday, I'm gonna have to cut the show kind of short because I got a dance appointment at 2. So I'm just trying to squeeze it in, man.
Exactly. Do it when you can. Do what you got to do. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's how we live. But I hope everybody listens to this. I hope somebody puts some money on our picks, and hope somebody wins. That's all we do the show for.
Yeah.
The only reason I do the show is to make picks and let people make money off me like that. That's why we do it.
Yeah, that's why we do it, man. I appreciate you again, Dietz, for coming on Midday Sports with Rod and the Lunch Crew. Make sure you go check out Saturday. My fault. At 8 a.m.
Tomorrow. Yeah, it'll be tomorrow. It'll be tomorrow morning. Check us out before you watch the games. Before you hit that FanDuel. Before you hit place the bet. Listen to Fit Down Sports Show, and we'll tell you exactly what's going on. We'll pick every game against the spread. So,
and Fit Down Sports is on YouTube. And what else, Dietz?
YouTube. We got YouTube, Spotify, Blog Talk Radio, or Facebook. We're all over. Just go and Google down Fit Down Sports Show. We're the first thing that pops up.
And this has been a Midday Sports with Rod and the Lunch Crew. I have my regular on, you know what I mean? Chris Dietz of Fifth Down Sports. And we're going to be out of here.
And just last thing is, everybody, I know I said, make money off us. Be smart. We got to say that. Be smart. Big bets. Yeah. Have fun with it. But if you don't have the money, don't put it down.
Yeah, don't bet on with your electric bill or your rent money, because I'm not going to help you out.
Yeah, exactly.
I ain't going to help you out. Also, thanks for watching BS3 Network. I appreciate you showing us some love. Me and Chris, I appreciate you. And this has been a Midday Sports with me and Chris Dietz, and Mid Sports with Rod and Lunch Crew. And we out. Have a good weekend.